What's the feeling like, just being a couple of days away from kicking off the season?
Super exciting. Just being able to really see all the work that we put in, and just really actually getting ready to play against another team rather than just our team. So I'm super excited.
Just expectations-wise, I mean, a lot expected of this team this year with what you did last year and wanting to go further. I mean, just to put all the last 8 months behind you and go see what you got on the field for a couple of hours. What's just the feeling like?
I feel like, there's a lot of expectations for sure, but really just being able to block out the outside noise and just hone in on what we have our season and just go game by game, week by week.
Do you believe you have the roster that could go further than you did last year?
Yes, sir. I feel like we can have a better team than we did last year.
How does the first game of a season really help set the tone?
Really just being able to see how we communicate, how we adapt to adversity, especially a game like we're going to have this first game, just being able to see like what adjustments we can make, how fast we can make the adjustments, and I think that's going to be something that's a big tell in how we continue through the season.
You said about blocking out the outside noise. I mean, coming off the playoffs last year, you guys are at least the odds-on favourite to make it again this year. Do you feel like there's a bigger target on your back that every team is coming for you this year?
I believe we do have a big target on our back for sure, but I think one thing that Coach D always says is be the hunters, not the hunted. So I think just being able to continue to have that mindset no matter what it is, whether we have a target on our back or not, just continue to hunt down every team that we have is very important.
And I guess just keep taking it week by week and trying not to look too far ahead. But week one, South Florida, they probably have some aspirations themselves with their quarterback. How do you keep in mind how big this game is for the long term while still trying to remain present in here?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big game no matter what because it is our first game. But really just being able to go out and impose our will and do what we've continued to practice to do and we've prepared to do, I think is going to be good for us for sure.
Jade, how would you describe your off season?
Just as a team?
No, as you personally, how would you describe your off season and kind of everything that went into it, and compared to the Jayden Virgin-Morgan we saw this time last year, like how different are you?
Yeah, I think really just being able to build off of last season, leaving it behind, but also build off of it. Kind of the different strengths that I had last year, and then the weaknesses, and being able to attack those during off season was very important for me. Just continue to grow in my strength, my speed, my get-off speed, everything like that, and as well as my football knowledge was super important this offseason.
I can't remember what it exactly said. You're like 15 pounds heavier, I think, or something.
Yes, sir.
What goes into that, and why did you decide to do that?
I think it's very important for me to be a little bit heavier for my position, just being able to play the run a lot better, especially at Boise State. The defense, the first thing that we do is stop the run. I think that's what we strive in, and just being able to be 15 pounds heavier and being able to hold my ground a lot better than I did last year is going to be very important. And just being able to work with guys like Coach Hilgart and our entire strength staff and being able to put on the good weight and not just fat, but being able to put on the muscular weight as well is really important.
How eager are you to see if this is, if it all pays off against an opponent for the next, 14 to 16 weeks or whatever?
Super. I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm super excited to see it for sure.
Watching South Florida. Go ahead.
What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge of facing a quarterback like Brown that runs and passes really well? And can you draw from any games last year that you think will help you?
Yeah, I think just being able to really keep the pocket leverage as a front, because he is going to want to get out of the pocket basically every single play. So being able to know our pocket leverage and keep that very tight, and then just being able to attack his motors, go for his legs, because he is a bigger guy. So not tackling high, tracking the near hip is going to be very important.
I asked Marco if he, if Brown reminded him of anyone that you guys faced last year, and he said Mateer. Is that kind of, do you kind of feel the same? Is he kind of the same game as Mateer, or is there someone else that you faced last year that you really remind you of?
I'd say Mateer as well. I think they're very similar in the way they play. They're both extremely strong in the run game as well as throwing the ball. Just really good dual athletes and dual threat quarterbacks. So I think Mateer is probably a good example of what we played last year for sure.
Is that exciting for you, trying a quarterback that goes out of the pocket and runs around? Do you prefer that, or do you like having a guy who you know where he is and he stays in the pocket?
I like both. I think being able to chase down a quarterback is fun, but also being able to just have the quarterback in the pocket makes it a little bit simpler game. But really just being able to get after the quarterback, because sometimes your first move doesn't work and he's going to get out of the pocket, so being able to prepare for that and be able to track him down is a good thing for sure.
you guys had a knack for getting to the quarterback last year. I think it was like 55 sacks or something like that. Coming into this season, I know there's a couple new faces at the D tackle position, but how confident are you that you guys can kind of continue that into this season?
Yeah, I think I'm very confident. Just the way Coach Chins has had us practicing, he's going to be extremely aggressive as he always is, and I'm super excited for that, and I'd love Coach Chins for that. And I think the mentality in the D-line room as well as the edge room has not dropped at all. So I think being able to get out to quarterback is going to be the same as last year, if not better.
What about their tempo? How much of one of the fastest teams in the country? What kind of challenge is that?
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the biggest challenges for sure. Just being able to get back to the ball, get the play, get our cleats in the ground every single play. But I think we're going to do a very good job at that. We've been practicing it a lot, so I think just continue to practice that, prepare for that. But I think that's going to be one of the biggest challenges for sure.
How much does Marco's personality fit him being a middle linebacker, and then on top of that, how often does he make sure you guys are right? Like, I don't know how much he communicates with you specifically, but how much does he make sure you guys are right when he wears the green dot?
Yeah, his personality fits very well at middle linebacker. Just the way he plays and just the way he brings guys with him and the way he communicates. He helps us out a lot. Like, there's different communications that need to be had, and whether we get them or not, he's very good at communicating with everybody on the defense, whether it's back end, front end, whatever it is. So I think he's extremely helpful for the defense for sure.
Jayden, what are you personally, you touched on it a little bit, but what are you personally most looking forward to with this game in particular?
I'm just excited to be able to go out and use what we've worked on this offseason, just being able to attack a new team and not just go against our team. I'm just super excited for our first game for sure.
What do you do on a 5-hour flight?
I'll probably download a movie, watch a little bit of film, play some Geometry Dash. That's about it.
Back to Marco and the green dot. I mean, last year, tubes wore it a lot for you. Is it almost better to have it a guy who's in the middle of the defense rather than someone who's in the back end? Do you hear him better being closer to you?
Yes, for sure. Especially being on the front, having the linebacker being able to communicate with us is very helpful. I mean, last year Marco did communicate a lot and he did help out a lot, but I think it's ramped up a lot this year. So just him being able to have that has helped, and we can as a front can hear him a lot better.
Where do you think the defense can be better this year?
I think always pursuit, just having 11 hats to the ball, and then just being more physical in the front, stopping the run. I feel like we can higher the standard no matter what it is, no matter how well we do. I think just being able to stop the run better and then just pursuing to the ball and having 11 players at the ball every single play.
A big storyline for you, I feel like this offseason, is just how much of a leader you've been. Obviously, you've been named the team captain. When you go on the road, national television, across the country, how much more responsibility do you feel like you bear this year than last year when you had Ahmed and Ash or whatever? Like, how much more responsibility do you feel like you bear to make sure this goes right?
I feel like there's a lot more responsibility, just being able to communicate with the guys, bring the guys with us. And then, I mean, there's a lot of new guys traveling, so just being able to get them right, get them to understand like the process that we have to go through, especially since we'll be going down a day before or 2 days before the game. So just being able to get those guys right, have them locked in for the practice that we have there, and then as well as just understanding that you don't need to change anything that you did or that you do before games, and just continue to be yourself, and what you did this off season is going to go into the game, and just being confident with that is going to be very good.
These road trips, how do they bring you guys closer together, and what do you appreciate most about them?
I love the road trips. I love going on the road. I mean, it's hard to play away from home for sure, but really just I feel like it brings us together. Just I mean, the different times, like you go with a different roommate in the hotel room, so you get closer with those guys. Just like the team dinners and then different things like that. Just sitting with different teammates on the plane, I think it brings us together very well.
So do they rotate roommates throughout the season? Or
sometimes, but usually it'll be like the same roommate.
Okay, gotcha.
I think this is like your 4th NFL stadium in the last 17 games or something you guys have gotten to play in. Is that, especially for someone like you that has goals and aspirations, is there anything extra cool about getting to play in the Buck Stadium? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Just being able to play in a stadium like that it's crazy. Just having that experience and being able to see kind of what those stadiums look like and how big those stadiums are it's pretty cool. For sure.
Any difference playing on a grass field?
I mean, it's going to be a lot different than turf for sure, but I feel like we've been preparing very well on our grass field for something like that. So.
Did you get a chance to watch any of the games yesterday and just I don't know if that got your juices going anymore. And a lot of times, was there anything you noticed, whether it was tackling or certain things like in a first game that maybe you have to think about next week?
Yeah, I was able to watch a few of them, but you know, it's first week. You always have, every team has the first week jitters, and you always have the first week cleanup, like tackling, defense, just being able to adapt, like I was speaking about before, being able to adapt when there's adversity, like how you adapt with whatever it is, whatever comes to in front of you. So I think that was one of the biggest things, but being able to really notice that, and obviously it happens to every team, but just being able to work on that.
Game in Ireland had quite a bit of rain, especially in the first half. Benefit the defenses?
I'd say so. I mean, it depends on the defense, but I think it would benefit the defense because it just keeps the ball on the ground, and especially with a defense like ours, stopping the run is the biggest thing. So I think it helps out a lot.
And there's, I mean, some possibility there could be rain in your game. I don't know if, I mean, you guys did the practice out there where you tried, but I mean, watching that game and seeing the ball security being an issue and all that, I mean, was that something that you took note of?
Yes, for sure. I mean, understanding that that's what comes with those rainy games, ball security, passing the ball, tips and overthrows, different things like that, I think is just one big thing, you know.
Anything else?
Okay, thanks.
Cool.